The WANDRD DUO Backpack is a 20-liter bag that is a bit of a hybrid. It's mainly meant for organizing camera gear, but has a couple of features that are good for everyday carry as well. I'm Tom, the founder of Pack Hacker, your guide to smarter travel. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing and ringing the bell icon to get notifications when we post new videos. Mark and I have been testing the WANDRD DUO for the last 2 weeks in Detroit, Michigan. I've been using it for about a week as a daily driver, and Mark has been using it for 2 weeks with all of our camera stuff inside. And I'm gonna bring him on a little bit later to go through some of the camera focus features of this bag as well. Make sure to visit packhacker.com for the written review and the best buying options on this bag that helps support the channel at no additional cost to you. Let's jump in. The main material on this bag is an 840D junior ballistic nylon, and you can see that up here at the top. And then towards the bottom, we have 1680D ballistic nylon, so it's a little bit more robust towards the bottom. There is some coating on this bag as well, which adds some additional weather resistance. The exterior feels similar to tarpaulin bags we've tested, but it's marked up much less than tarpaulin bags. Typically after this long of testing, about 3 weeks, we have a lot of permanent scratches and marks. Not really the case with the Duo. There's some pretty good weather resistance going on with the bag, and although it isn't specifically IP rated, we found that it's been pretty great in the rain. I've personally been testing this. I bike to the co-working space that we work at a lot, and it's gotten muddy and wet, and everything inside has stayed completely dry in the rain and in the snow. Plus, the mud is really easy to wipe off due to the material. There's a lot of black on black going on, including the logos, which we dig. The bag itself looks slick when fully packed, but it can kind of start to look dehydrated if it's not fully packed out. Again, this isn't very unique. We see this a lot in tarpaulin materials, but we figured we'd bring it up. We polled our Instagram audience to get their thoughts on what they think of this bag, and here are the results. Make sure to follow Pack Hacker on Instagram. We would love to get you involved in future polls. WANDRD also opted for a NIFCO plastic hardware on areas like the strap adjuster and sternum strap. We've had great luck with that brand in the past. Although this bag uses some quality materials, it doesn't feel quite as premium as other bags in its class. Kicking it off with the external components, starting with the harness system. The straps themselves are a bit on the thin side, however there's some great density going on with these. There's some nice mesh at the back for airflow. The padding on the straps is enough for a bag of 20 liters and definitely comes in handy if this is filled up with heavy camera gear. One thing we've noticed about these straps is that they tend to pull outward compared to other bags that we've tested. This is especially pronounced when using a jacket that's a little bit more on the slippery side, so something like the Patagonia Micro Puff. That slipperiness can easily be mitigated by buckling the sternum strap though. The sternum strap has stayed on securely in our testing, and there's a nice daisy chain of loops here to adjust that sternum strap either up or down. The sternum strap itself is also small and a bit thin, which feels appropriate for a bag of this aesthetic, design, and functionality. The strap adjusters smoothly adjust, are also made of durable hardware, and have nice elastic keepers on them as well to manage excess straps. Behind the straps, there is a small loop for a hip belt attachment as well. We haven't tested it with the hip belt yet, but we do like the option that it's there if you want to use it. Even though this bag is only 20 liters, if you fully load it out with camera gear, it's going to be heavy, and having that hip belt can really help. Behind is the frame sheet with some pretty dense padding and a small air channel for airflow here. We really think WANDRD got the design and feel right on this one, especially if the bag's gonna be filled with that heavy camera gear. There's some nice padding and protection on the back panel. Behind this, there's also a luggage pass-through so you can slide it right on your carry-on bag. Rounding out the harness system, we have smooth seatbelt-like material on the top grab handle here that's been folded over so it's more comfortable to grab. On the wearer's right side, we have a stretch water bottle pocket that's good for putting in either a tripod or water bottles. Now, you're not gonna be able to fit your giant Nalgene in here. However, we did fit in a 18-ounce Yeti pretty nicely in this side pocket. There are no air vents at the bottom of the bag. However, it is made of mesh material. So at the bottom of the back, it's really nice and stretchy. And then if any water gets inside of that pocket, it'll just drain through the mesh at the bottom. On the wearer's left, we have a nice padded handle with a rubbery WANDRD tab at the top. We like that this handle is densely padded, properly centered, and that the bag generally holds its shape when grabbed. It's perfect if you want to carry things briefcase style for a bit. Lastly, there are some nylon tabs on the exterior of the bag, They kind of stick out a little bit and they look a little funky. However, you can pair them with WANDRD's accessory straps or carabiners that you have on your own. Overall, we like the simplicity of the design on the exterior of the bag, and we like that WANDRD didn't go overboard with a bunch of extra features on the outside. It keeps a nice, slim and minimal profile. Starting with the inside of the pack, we have a really sneaky pocket on the back of the back panel of the bag. This passport pocket is directly behind the frame sheet, and we like that it's easy to get access to by swinging this bag around your front, unzipping it, and grabbing your passport out. We generally like this pocket, and it would be really hard for a pickpocket to get to while you're wearing the bag, and they likely won't know where it is even if your bag is just sitting there by itself. There's a top drop pocket right above that goes about the full width of the bag and offers some decently ample space. This is perfect for a phone, wallet, keys, or really anything that you want quick access to. The interior of this pocket has a soft fabric too, which is great for your phone or sunglasses. You may not want to put your keys in with the sunglasses though. And speaking of your keys, there's a nice 360 rotating key clip inside. We like this key clip a little bit more when compared to other bags that we've tested in the past. You'll also notice the lay flat, weather resistant YKK AquaGuard zipper as well. Basically, the zipper will not open when the zipper pull is flat against the bag. On top of that, there's a zipper garage that will not only keep moisture out, but also has a little inlet where the zipper pull can be pulled up easily. We love the thinking here, and we dig that WANDRD avoid the trap that some people run into where they don't have this little inlet for the zipper, and it's really hard to pull this up. So that zipper garage just covers, and then you're kind of fighting to get this out. So we like that they accommodated for that on the zipper garage. We've got a very similar zipper garage setup on the front of the bag. So that just unzips, and then there is some ripstop-like material on the interior. This pocket's really good for just stuffing a jacket or snacks into. It's kind of just like a big dump pocket on the front of the bag, and it comes off of the bag a little bit as well for some extra volume. Now onto the main axis of the pack, WANDRD's infinite zip system, which is pretty much one zipper coil with 4 zipper pulls on it. We found the best way to use this is to keep 2 zippers at the top and 1 zipper at the bottom of each of the sides. This allows you to set the bag down and easily access it from the top zipper. You can set the bag down on its side and unzip it to access the bag from the side. Or you can swing the bag around the front of your body and access the side of the bag nicely in front of you. We love that this bag can be accessed from multiple angles. However, oftentimes it is very sticky and tough to open these zippers quickly, especially due to these squared edges, the YKK zippers that are AquaGuard, and kind of the way that this is designed and where the track of this zipper coil is. There's a lot of sharp corners, a lot of bunching up, things of that nature. During our testing, we found that this small annoyance really adds up, especially if you have the camera on the bottom part. You swing the bag around your front, you quickly want to get your camera out to get that perfect shot. By the time you're able to get that zipper open, the window of opportunity has passed. Opening the bag way up, we can start to get a feel for all the organization on the inside. The top flap of this bag has a nice mesh partition, which is great for stuffing in a hooded sweatshirt, a jacket. We've also enjoyed putting our unwieldy laptop chargers inside of this pocket. Putting heavy items in here isn't really the best as they may slip out, especially if you open this bag fully. But if you're just accessing it from the top and folding this top flap over, it's a little bit more forgivable and less likely to jostle around inside of the bag or get lost when you fully open it. At the bottom of the bag, we have the built-in pop camera cube. When you don't want to use the pop cube, just fold it down and the bag becomes a little bit larger. When you do want to use it, just pop that up. And there are 2 Velcroable doors on the sides and then also 1 partition divider in the middle, so you have some customizability there. We like that WANDRD is thinking in this way, and it makes the bag pretty versatile. It feels a little bit kludgy to set up initially, and it definitely feels kludgy if you're continuously kind of rejiggering it. However, overall, we like the innovative thinking here. This camera cube compartment is easily accessible from these zippers on the bottom of the bag. One other side note here is you typically want the heaviest items that you carry to be towards your back and towards the top of the bag. This puts one of your heaviest items, your camera, at the very bottom of the bag, which isn't ideal for carrying. Additionally, the camera cube is not suspended, so if you end up dropping the bag unexpectedly, that is your camera hitting the ground full force. We like when things are a little bit more centered inside of the bag and there is a little bit more safety. There's not a ton of customizability with the camera cube either as far as positioning and size. it is either up or it's not there. And Mark's gonna get into this a little bit more in the photo and video section of the review. Above the pop camera cube, we have two pockets here that are intended for lenses, and they're nicely padded, and they have some stretchy mesh as well to accommodate lenses of different sizes. One thing we did notice in our testing though is that when you have a lens or two in here, it's a little bit weird to use the rest of the space inside of the bag. So kind of the main compartment that gets created, we found ourselves not really using that a lot because these sort of stick out along the interior of the bag. Above that, there's a zipper pocket that goes down to the top of the lens pockets. You can keep smaller items inside like SD cards, cords, and the like. The laptop and tablet compartment is pretty simple. Although the laptop compartment is padded, there is no false bottom. So similar to what we just said with the camera cube, your laptop is at the very bottom of the bag. It's not suspended at all. So any drop, your laptop is gonna feel it. In front of that compartment, there is ample space for a tablet, and it uses some of that similar soft material that we've seen inside of the top drop pocket. On the wearer's right-hand side at the top, we have some really interesting cord keepers here, and we like the innovative thinking going on. There are 4 stretchy elastic bits that will hold a cord into place, and a vertical handle that you can grab and pull and easily release the cord. We typically use tech pouches to keep things organized. However, if there's a cord that you have frequent access to and you just want to be able to quickly open the bag and grab, this is a great space for it. Below that, we have a stretchy mesh pocket that is a little bit big. It doesn't really tighten up on much unless you have something larger in there. And then below that, we have a liner pocket. These are nice compartments for larger items, but you wouldn't really want to put SD cards or anything smaller inside of here. If you have this bag out and about, it's too easy for everything in here to get jostled around and fall into the main area of the pack. The wearer's left side features a very similar setup with the mesh pocket on top and liner pocket at the bottom. The only difference with the liner pocket at the bottom is that there's a zipper. We generally prefer that, especially with the saggier mesh. Now I'm going to hand it off to Mark, as we've both been testing this bag for 3 weeks in Detroit, Michigan. He's been using it for 2, pretty much exclusively as a camera bag.
At the time of this review, I've been using the WANDRD Duo to haul around our camera gear for a couple weeks now. And while I've really enjoyed using it, I'm missing some of the customizability that comes with a camera bag. Every photographer has different gear, so it's really nice when you can fine-tune the inside of a bag to exactly what you need. Typically, this is done with Velcro dividers. With the Duo, the only customization you have is the shelf in the pop-up camera cube. If you have longer lenses that don't fit in the lens pockets, you'll basically be stuck with them floating in the main compartment of the bag, which isn't ideal. Our main camera kit is pretty compact. We typically shoot with a Sony a7 III, a Sony 28 to 70mm lens, and a Sony 10 to 18mm lens. So fortunately for us, we're able to fit everything exactly where it's supposed to go. The infinite zip system offers great access, and it's nice to be able to swing the bag to your front and take your camera out without having to take the bag completely off. However, the lens pockets aren't easily accessible from the side, and you'll still have to take the bag off for a lens swap. You can get around this by putting a lens in the empty side of the camera cube, however then you lose the protection and stability offered by the lens pockets. In general, we've had better luck putting this bag down and having full access to everything rather than trying to utilize these quick access features. Now, I'm going to hand it back to Tom.
Overall, the WANDRD Duo has been nice to carry around as a daily driver. I like all the different options to segment pouches and gear inside of the bag. There's especially some great space if that pop camera cube is down. I didn't really love the zippers and the whole design of the infinite zip. It was a little bit hard to access, and it definitely added up. When every time I wanted to open up this bag, it was a little bit harder to get into. Also in daily driver mode, I rarely use the infinity zip towards the bottom of the bag. I typically just split the bag open at the top for access. As mentioned earlier, I bike to our co-working space nearly every day, and this thing is done well through rain and snow and mud getting kicked up on it. Pretty easy to wipe and wash off, and we appreciate that about the exterior material. Durability wise, it has held up nicely too. There's not a ton to complain about on that front. So to wrap this thing up with some pros and cons, starting with the pros, we like that there is thoughtful and innovative design thinking going on with this bag. The harness system is comfortable for the size, although the straps pull apart a bit, and it's a great size for smaller camera kits. On to some of the cons. The main zipper is stiff and difficult to open from any angle. It doesn't feel as premium as other bags in its class. And lastly, the internal organization is not customizable, something we miss when comparing with other camera bags. The WANDRD DUO offers an interesting, innovative option as a camera bag and daily driver. We like the thoughtful design and features, but we're left scratching our heads when it comes to some of the execution. On some of the parts of the bag, the vision doesn't quite match the real-world usage. For example, there are plenty of ways to access the pack, but the stiff zipper makes that access slow, which can get annoying. And while the internal organization is great for our particular camera setup, it's not very customizable or fluid. If you can look past those details, the WANDRD DUO is a solid option to carry your camera kit and everyday gear alike. So there you have it, our review of the WANDRD DUO Daypack. As always, we would love to hear what you think of this thing in the comments below. Thanks for keeping it here at Pack Hacker, your guide to smarter travel. We'll see you in the next video.